Hello, I'm Mike Meadows here at X8 Drums, and this is Cajon 101. Today I'm going to talk about some of the basic techniques, concepts, ideas about playing this wonderful instrument that I've been playing for about 15 years now, and I've learned a lot of the traditional techniques and also taken techniques from other drums and cultures and developed my own techniques as well. It's a great instrument. I've played thousands of shows with it, and today I'm going to talk about some of the basics. So let's just get right into it. Now with the cajon, it's important to find what sort of posture is best for you. So everybody's going to be a little bit different. You see a lot of the traditional players from Peru and Cuba playing with their legs pretty wide apart so that they can really get into the drum. Now, for me, that put a lot of strain on my lower back. So having to bend down and be in this position a lot, I found playing a lot of shows that wasn't so comfortable, and you know, even with stretching and being aware of it, it caused a lot of problems with my back. Now the other thing is, as you see, I like to put different things on my feet and play with my feet as well. And if you're in this position and move forward, it's really hard to lift up your legs. And so for me to maximize that, I started experimenting with different ways of sitting on the cajon. Now, one way that I found works very well for me is by placing my leg here and moving the cajon so that my hands are playing on either side of the leg. Now, it doesn't offer a whole lot of exposure on this side, but I can still, you know, easily come down and play inside like that and get a lot of the same tones. Now, with that, now my feet are more even and I can easily move them. And now my back, I don't have to strain and I don't have to move my legs. Now, something that I've also seen some people do is they like to turn it sideways so that they're playing like this. Now, if the cajon has two sides that you can play, you know, that could be a good option. Or you could still just play the one side and play other things with this hand. For example, right? So I guess one of the things that I'm trying to say is you shouldn't feel limited by having to always be in this position or think that you're gonna have to bend over. One of the other things with playing the cajon is you don't really need to reach all the way down to the center to get a nice bass tone. You can really get a good bass tone pretty close to the top, so you don't have to bend down as much as you think. If you really just get in there and find that center spot, then you can get a very nice tone. Now, speaking of the bass tone, aside from the posture, there's the technique. It's very similar to the same technique you would use for a bass tone in conga or djembes. You want to keep your hands together, keeping your fingers close like this and your thumb in. And as you play, it's really this part of your hand here that's getting the majority of the contact and the sound. Now, you don't want to go all the way in and leave it there. You want to stay relaxed and allow sort of your fingers to just go off of it a little bit while you keep your hand against it. But again, you don't want to press tight, because if you press too much, you get a really dead sound, and you can start to put too much pressure on your muscles here, and that can turn into tendinitis and some other things. So try to stay as relaxed as possible, keeping a good posture, finding the way that feels comfortable to sit, And then just starting with that basic bass tone. You want to really get a nice sound. And then the next basic technique is getting your snare sound over here. Now some people may play like a strong conga slap or a slap like you would on djembe. One of the beautiful things about the cajon is that you don't have to really hit it as hard or develop some of those techniques to get a nice snap. You can really get a pretty good snappy slap snare sound just by hitting up in the corner. So now we're in sort of this region here, and I'm hitting mostly with the fingers. So as before, the bass tone is mostly the palm of the hand. This sound is going to be with the fingers. So in the corner up here, and then your bass tone here. So remember, you don't have to reach all the way down and come all the way up. It's more of a side. So you're going slightly down to get your palm there, and then slightly up so you're getting your fingers. Again, keep the fingers tight together, but stay relaxed. And then start combining the two together. So we've got the bass tone and the snare tone. And then take your left hand and go for the same thing. You want to get a nice bass tone here. And those are the two basic sounds on the cajon. Now there's a lot of different things you can do from there. But that's where it sort of all begins. So being sure you get that nice bass tone, that nice snare, and finding your posture. Those are the most important things when you start out. Now some of you have backgrounds in playing drums and percussion, so you can take existing grooves that you already know and you can apply those easily to the cajon. Any patterns that you play on the djembe with the bass tone and the slap, the open tone, you can apply those things here. You just change the technique a little bit and the motion on the drum, but you can play any of that stuff on this instrument. Now, if you're adding your feet, again, it's good to figure out how you're gonna play that within the context of how you're sitting. So again, I can't really play like this, so to be able to move my feet, I get the sounds here. But I just wanted to show you in this way, getting the different sounds, because you can't really see it behind this leg. So playing the bass and the snare sounds here. So even though it's happening behind my leg, it's exactly the same as what I'm doing here. I'm just moving my posture so that later on I can incorporate the feet. That's the basic techniques and posture with the cajon. Sometimes you see people leaning back. I don't recommend that. You know, they're doing that to get more of a bass tone out of it, but again, that can be really stressful on your back, and you know, people can get knocked over and fall. So experiment with different ways of sitting and really focus on just getting a really strong bass and snare sound while staying relaxed and just breathing and taking some of those rhythms you already know. And in future lessons, we're going to kind of go through a lot of different permutations, different kinds of grooves and other techniques from different cultures that you can add, adding in playing with brushes, playing with a foot pedal, techniques on how to use the tambourine on the foot and combining that with the cajon. So thanks for your time, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.